Hi, everybody. I'm Joe Appello. George Conner to my left. Welcome to All Sports Talk Show with Joe and George. George, how you doing?
Doing all right, Joey.
Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good. How was your Subway today? Good?
Subway was good. It was
You're one of our best customers, if not the best.
nice little way to start the day.
All right, okay. Now, golf. Bethpage Black, right?
Bethpage Black, second major of the year.
Okay. Brooks.
This guy, Brooks Koepka, he's out of control.
Dominated, huh?
He's 29 years old. 2017, kind of out of nowhere. He had won one tournament.
Okay.
2017 goes out to Erin Hills, which hosted the U.S. Open. They'd never hosted it before. It was actually a relatively new golf course. Okay. And wins it, got a bit of a surprise. Sometimes that'll happen. Comes back in 2018 at Shinnecock Hills. So if it's got hills in the name, you got to figure it's going to be pretty good. Out on Long Island, which is a storied old golf course, hosted major, all kinds of majors, this, that, and the other thing, and defends his title, wins the U.S. Open again. Later on that summer, goes out to St. Louis at Belle Reve, plays in the PGA Championship, wins it. So here's a guy who, now if you follow golf, you know who he is. Prior to him winning the 2017 U.S. Open, he's a player. He's out there.
Where did you go to college? Where was he from?
Florida State.
Florida State. Nice.
Florida State.
Okay.
So then he wins the PGA Championship, Belle Reve. Now, not only does he have three majors, he's got two in 1 year, which doesn't happen very often. No. And we're not talking Tiger Woods here. This is just a guy. Then he goes down to Bethpage and shoots the course record the first day. Has a 3 or 4 shot lead. Extends it, goes into the last day. He's got a 7-shot lead to the point where the thing's over.
Right.
Now, as it turns out, he's playing with Dustin Johnson, by the way. Dustin's got one major. They're very close friends. They work out with the same trainer. Dustin Johnson works with Butch Harmon, who's, I would think probably the greatest.
Oh, is that Gretzky's son-in-law? Or is that the other guy?
Dustin Johnson is either the son-in-law or
his wife is
baby
Wayne
daddy.
Gretzky's,
I don't know if they're married or not, but yes.
Okay, right.
Yeah, he is with Paulina Gretzky, who I think might have seen her. I don't know. So Brooks makes a turn, bogeys 4 holes in a row. All of a sudden, Dustin Johnson's within 2 shots. Dustin made a couple bogeys, and that was it. So the 2017-2018 U.S. Open, the 2018-2019 PGA Championship. Wow. He's got 2 more majors to go.
Wow.
Pebble Beach will be the next up in June, so that'll be the final round of the U.S. Open is on Father's Day. That's an annual thing. That'll be at Pebble Beach, and the Open Championship is actually in Ireland this year.
Now, for Brooks, I'm not a golf aficionado like you are, but Bethpage Black is a longer course, right?
It's a long,
and he's a long hitter. He's a big hitter.
Oh, he's a monster.
Big hitter. So that kind of played into his wheelhouse.
In the wheelhouse.
Nice.
Pebble Beach is a little bit more of a shot maker's golf course.
Okay.
Now all these golf courses, they lengthen them. That's kind of they just keep wherever they can, they make them longer.
Okay.
But Pebble Beach is going to require shaping, more precision type of thing.
There are definitely courses that are more tailored to a certain type of golfers.
Absolutely. The funny thing was, back when Tiger Woods came on the scene, there's always that, oh no, somebody's doing too well, we can't let this happen. Right. It's almost like the PGA Tour is the NFL, where we need parity.
Right.
So they use a term called tiger proofing. This is back late 90s into like the early 2000s. And they were making golf courses longer and longer and longer, which was silly because at the time, Tiger was the longest guy out there.
Okay.
It's like, oh, we're going to make it longer to tiger-proof it. Well, you're just playing into his hands,
Yeah. Makes sense.
So, and an interesting thing, and I don't want to jump off the PGA Championship yet, but next week is Colonial Country Club. So they were in Dallas. They go to Long Island. Now they're going to go back out to Fort Worth, the greater Dallas area. If there's anybody from Texas and I misspoke, I'm sorry, but this is in Fort Worth, not Dallas. But it's an old golf course, and it requires moving the ball, curving the ball, which a lot of times, if you're that guy who's 43, 4, 5 years old, had a really good chance there because it was a throwback to how we used to play golf, where nowadays, partly because of the equipment, partly because of the golf course, these guys just hit it basically straight.
Okay.
Colonial does require to shape the ball a little bit more, so you might look for an older, a veteran player to play there. If you're gonna put some, bet some Oreos with your buddy about that. Now, that's going to start to go away only because the guys who are in their early 40s now grew up playing the new golf ball on the new golf courses. So the art of shot making isn't quite what it used to be. Okay. A guy like Bubba Watson, I don't know if you're not, honestly, I don't know if he's in the field, but that's a good golf course for him. So Tiger, by the way, didn't make the cut.
Didn't make the cut.
Didn't make the cut. Had a lot of 3 putts and all.
And he was
but if you look back to one of the archive shows, I did say horses for courses, and this isn't the course for Tiger.
No.
Yeah. So
called it.
Yeah.
Okay. NBA playoffs. West Warriors took the broom out. Swept out those Portland Trailblazers. 4 in a row. Game 4, elimination game. Miles Leonard had an unbelievable first half. Had 25. That was his career high at any level, actually. Maybe not high school, but college and pro. He went to the University of Illinois, and it was 69-62, I think, at halftime, which is an unbelievably high-scoring affair.
There goes the under.
There goes the under. It just barely went over, actually, when it was over. But I got a comment on the play of you get the Splash Brothers who are phenomenal, Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry, but Draymond Green was just unbelievable in the whole series. He drives that ship, pushing the ball up the floor and making great decisions, crashes defensively, scoring. I think he had a triple double. Him and Seth had a triple double in one of the games. I think Game 3. And funny thing about him is that they had a couple weeks ago, they had the flopping and all the officials and whatnot.
Yep.
Well, since that time, I don't know about you, I've noticed that the players don't seem to complain at all or much at all like they used to. Maybe the NBA just say, enough.
Yeah,
enough of this.
Kind of came down from the league offices.
Quietly, we say things.
Yeah.
But a funny story about Draymond was he was playing, he was shooting around with his son. I think his son's little, I don't know how old, 5, 6, 7, 8. And his son was shooting the ball and flopping. and he complained, and he was like, he goes, "That's you, Daddy." And he was like,
"Whoa."
Wow. That was like an epiphany for him. And he just said, "You know what? I got to quit being a baby, quit worrying about the officials and these calls and just play my game." And that's literally what has happened to him.
Yeah.
And he's been amazing. Clay and Seth are givens. They're fantastic. But, I mean, Draymond, I just think is he's the guy that cannot afford to lose out of all those players. Because if Steph wasn't there, Clay would get his shots and vice versa. But, I mean, Draymond just has all those little things that you don't see in the box score that are just so essential to winning basketball, in my opinion. And the Warriors, no matter what you say about them, they play the game the right way.
Yeah.
I keep saying that. They move it out the ball, they pass, they shoot, they screen, they play great defense, they help, they push the ball when they have to, they slow it down when they have to, and they're just very smart. And Steve Kerr did a great job with his bench, moving guys in and out. Mm-hmm. I mean, they had guys like Kevon Looney, played a great role in the middle. This kid McKinney was great. Bogut, Cook, Bell, and Jerebko. These guys were 6 guys came in off the bench and filled in the area and took off for a slap of KD. And now KD's probably saying, "Wait, they're doing pretty well without me."
Yeah.
I mean, you can.
That's kind of been the theme. I mean, it'll be interesting in the off seasons.
Well, people got to remember that these guys are so battle tested. This is their 5th straight final. Mm-hmm. I mean, you just don't. You can't replace that experience-wise, and what that does for you. They've been there. Nothing phases those guys. Home, away, it doesn't matter. So I think that's a huge factor. I mean, I don't think anyone's going to beat them. I really don't. And then you've got 9 days before the finals start. They've got literally 9 days to rest, to relax. They got KD probably will be back.
No, that's an interesting thing because you would assume, okay, on this side, Major League Baseball or whatever else. Okay, National League, there's a sweep in the NLCS. Oh, they're rested, and you assume that gives them the advantage. But then there's that argument of rust versus rest. Right. Do we get flat and things like that? Now, I think in basketball, maybe it's a little bit different because you got to heal and everything else.
This time of year.
In baseball, I think from the pitching standpoint. And the hitting standpoint, I think
this unique situation.
To have too long of a layoff, I don't think it's a good thing.
Because they got Cousins and KD. And Iguodala too.
Yeah.
That those 3 guys that are nursing injuries.
Yeah.
So does the 9 days get them back to full strength, partial strength? anything's going to help them, I would think.
Yeah.
But then you say the other side of the argument, what you just said, you want to keep the momentum going and just keep on rocking it. So
Yeah.
if they lose a little bit of rust in 9 days, who knows?
Yeah, rust versus rest. And I think it depends on the sport.
Yeah.
You know, I think in baseball, you got, I remember listening to Glavine talk. If Glavine pitched on too much rest, he wasn't very good. The ball was a little bit too lively. He didn't curve quite as much. And then hitting live pitching, I think, you go 4 or 5 days without that.
Yeah. I think 9 days is maybe a little much. I think 3-4 days probably all you need. But again, since those guys are nursing major injuries, I think that becomes a plus for them. And again, they're so battle tested. They're not going to sit down and just waste the opportunity of that rest period. They're gonna do the proper thing and get ready. And they're focused on winning another championship. I mean, they really are. And I think they beat whoever comes out of the East. And that series is 2-2. Toronto and Milwaukee. Each team has won on their respective home court.
Yeah.
Last night, Toronto took care of the Bucks last night. That was interesting stat I read the other day. I heard Kawhi Leonard, when he scores 20 points or less, they're 10-1. Isn't that interesting?
Wow.
Everyone thinks that Kawhi's got to be, 35 or 40 points, which he has been doing.
Yeah. Now that game went to overtime, right? Was it last night?
Last night, the one before.
One before, that's right.
Yeah. But I think everyone thinks that Kawhi is the go-to guy, but they've had other guys step up. Lowry played well last night. They've had a few guys that have come forward, and that's what it takes. I mean, to win a championship, it's not a one-man show. I mean, you need all the guys to contribute their own way, and that's what's so special about the Warriors. Each guy knows his niche, knows his role, and comes in there and plays it perfectly, whether it's for a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15, whatever it takes. They do it, and they have that next man up mentality, which all sports people do, but in their situations really comes to fruition. I think they're just they're unique guys. You got Clay, and they're such team players that they don't care about their stats. Curry could have 15 points and they win and he's happy. He could have 40 points, they lose, he's upset about it.
Right.
So other guys could care less about.
Yeah.
Winning,
I mean, it sounds like, well, why wouldn't it always be that way? But sadly, that's not the case with a lot of players.
Now the other thing in the NBA, the last show we had was a Wednesday, and the Thursday was the lottery.
The bingo.
The bingo.
NBA bingo. Yeah. I'm going to say it here on the air. I wish the NBA fixed the lottery. And got the Knicks the number 1 pick, but the Knicks got number 3. Yeah.
It would be better for the NBA to have obviously the Lakers and the Knicks relevant again, especially the Knicks. I think the Knicks have a good coach in David Fizdale, but the thing is that nowadays you're trying to attract these guys to go to play for you, and there's a lot of amazing free agents coming out this year, and all the K guys. You got Kevin Durant, Kyrie, Kimba, Klay Thompson, Kawhi. All Ks there, 5 Ks.
Okay, 5 Ks.
5 Ks. And Tobias Harris, Jimmy Butler, they're also free agents from the Sixers. Chris Middleton of the Bucks is going to be a free agent. So the problem is that some of these teams can't afford more than one max contract. So that's the situation. Kyrie, I think Kyrie leaves.
Same rules in the NBA as say the NFL, that there's that salary minimum if it's a first-round pick, regardless of if it was the first pick or the 25th pick.
What for the drafted guys?
Yeah. There's
there's a structure there, I think.
So there's like a minimum pay.
Yeah, and obviously the higher you drafted, the more money you could possibly make. The Pelicans got the number 1 pick, and their situation is Anthony Davis I believe still wants out of there, and rumor has it they'll take Zion, which he's expected to be a number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Now, is that enough to make Anthony Davis stay around? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
He wanted to go before. Why would he?
Yeah.
Why would he want to play with a 21-year-old rookie, who's going to be at some point probably tremendous? But I mean,
possibly. There's some retractors there.
Right.
Is he big enough? Can he?
Right.
Is he physical enough to compete at that level? It's a whole different thing.
A lot of guys think R.J. Barrett's going to be a better pro because he's more suited to the pro game with his length, 6'8", can shoot the ball a little better. Zion's outside shooting was okay at Duke, but NBA is a little different. And but his speed and his his jumping ability and things like that, I mean, are off the charts. But I don't think so. I think Davis goes. I think he goes to. It'd be kind of neat if the Knicks traded for Davis, right? And gave. This is my trade. Knicks trade a couple guys and their number three pick to the Pelicans for Anthony Davis, right? So the Pelicans have Zion and pick R.J. Barrett. And they were both roommates in college, best friends.
Okay.
Not that and they could play together, build something at New Orleans. And the number two pick to the Memphis Grizzlies is probably going to be Jay Morant.
Okay.
From all accounts that we have. Now the Lakers are at 4, and they're looking at Hunter from DeAndre Hunter from Virginia, maybe Jarrett Culver from Texas Tech, Garland, the guard from Villanova, but they don't really need a guard at this point, the Lakers. So I would say they're looking at DeAndre Hunter or Jarrett Culver from Texas Tech. Lakers take one of those guys. The Cavs are at number 5, and they might take Kobe White, the point guard from North Carolina, who I think is going to be a real good one.
Okay.
I love Carson Edwards of Purdue. Drop dead sniper from outside. Shoot the ball like crazy. A little smaller, 6'2", but he could shoot.
Okay.
And he's at NBA range. I showed that in the NCAA tournament.
Yep.
I mean, he had like a couple 30, 40-point games. But I don't know if he merits a top 10 pick, though. That's the problem there. How high do you go?
Yeah.
You got a couple 7-footers in there. Taco Fall. He's 7'7".
Say that again.
Taco Fall.
One more time.
Yeah.
One more time.
What?
I just want to hear that again.
Taco Fall.
Okay. I like it.
He's the man. 7'7", UCF. Then you got Bol.
Okay.
7'1" from Oregon.
Taco Fall.
Bol.
Okay.
Who I guess couldn't find a proper name for him, so just named him his last name.
Bol.
Yeah.
Hey, I grew up with a kid named John.
So Bol. So anyway, they're probably second-round pick. Well, Bol might be a first-round pick, but I think Taco.
Wait a minute, Taco Fall this is the giant guy from Central Florida?
UCF, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. They're saying that the Knicks are looking at him as a second-round pick. Can you imagine?
Oh, no.
Can't make it up and down the floor. I agree. I agree, but that's what they're. They got him in for a tryout. But maybe they have a freak show in town. I don't know. Those big guys will never. They never last.
Yeah.
So anyway, the NBA. So the Bucks are 2-2, and they've got obviously 2 more games at least. Each team has won on the other team's on their own court.
Flipped.
Yes, I guess at least 3-4 more days where they've got to play, and the Warriors can sit back and watch and analyze and figure out a game plan. And
rest, recover,
see what happens with them. So I think it's a big advantage to the Warriors, though. And that's the reason why they wanted to sweep in Portland, to get that over with and the rest, because they know how to utilize that. And knew it would help them.
Yeah, and I think, wasn't too long ago we were talking about the Patriots getting ready for the playoffs.
Yep.
The Patriots know how to use that extra week off, and you got to figure Golden State with. It's just they just keep going. They're going. Like you say, they know how to.
Yeah.
They know how to prepare. They know what to do when they have the extra rest.
And you got to think they're going to be better off having played all those extra guys in KD and Iguodala's absence. They've got to be stronger. They're going to just go one, two,
more
four
depth,
guys up, more depth. And in the NBA, you'll see where they'll take their stars and sit them like the beginning of the second quarter, end of the first quarter, and then you get your second unit goes in there, and if you have a better second unit than the other team's second unit, you can increase the lead by 10, 20 points.
You're giving your studs rest, but you're stretching the lead.
You really want
It's like rec league basketball. You put the little kids out there for the second quarter, right?
You'll notice the Warriors will keep Clay in there. They'll keep Clay or Steph in there with the second unit.
Yeah.
One big shooter in there.
Yeah.
And that's how they do it. I thought the Trailblazers made a major mistake of taking Lillard out too much in certain situations. And instead of, you can look at it this way: when you're playing the other team's second unit, you put Lillard in there, they can increase the lead. That's how I would look at it.
Yeah.
And then reverse that. But they obviously know what they're doing. But so the NBA, it's kind of it's such a long season. It's amazing. It's going to be June. Playoffs start in June, for crying out loud. Yeah. And it's just, and
we say 9 days. We're filming the show on May 22nd.
Yeah, May 30th, I think, is the first game of the finals.
Yeah.
June 2nd is the second game, game
so
2.
It's going to It'll be going
There's 2 or 3 games in between each game too.
2 or 3 off days. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, so it does go on to literally almost the middle of June if it goes 7 games.
They're going to compete with the U.S. Open. That's no good. Because here's the good news, and I know you're excited about this. The good news about the U.S. Open is prime time.
Okay.
Because they're playing out in California. You know, you go home after a long day. What's better than turning on the TV, watching a little golf?
You know, that's the other thing too about these games. Even they start at 9 o'clock. They're getting over at midnight, and obviously a lot of people go to bed at 10.
Yeah, full disclosure.
You can't. I mean,
The day after a lot of these games, I'll go into Subway for a little something to eat. Hey, did you see the game last night? No, I didn't see the game last night. I was asleep
Like
at
I did.
halftime.
yeah, I'm like I did, but I don't have to get up till 9:30. I mean, it's a little different for me. But yeah, there's no other way around that. I mean, you can't. When you get started a West Coast game at 4 o'clock in the afternoon,
Right.
You know what I mean? There's no other way around it. So
Yep.
I think they do the best they can. I think they start like start at 6 sometimes. You know,
6
that-
o'clock West
time, yeah.
Pacific time, yeah.
So
Yeah, which hurts the ratings, obviously, out there, but it helps,
right.
you know.
Then you get halftime's 20 minutes. You get post game, pre-game, all that stuff going on. But yeah, so NBA's a long, but the playoffs have been actually pretty good actually.
Yeah.
They play hard. Usually the better teams win.
Not a lot of upsets, you think?
Yeah, not in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the Mets. What's going on with the Mets? They're better lately.
Yeah, in the last couple of days. They got swept. They got swept by the Marlins, Joe. They got swept by the Marlins. Worst team in the league. Worst team in the division.
Awful. They got shut out a couple times too, didn't they?
Yeah, I think they might have gotten to like 18, 7. I think it was 17 innings.
That one
without a
game,
run.
McNeil led off the game with a hit, and then that was it.
Yeah, they
2-0 game was it?
couple weeks
Last weekend.
road trip before that. Guy from the Marlins is pitching. I hop in the car, ready to go. I was in the grocery store. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna get home. It's 7:25, 7:30, and I'll get home in time to, I'll watch the Mets game tonight. By the time I get in the car, Rosario hits a grand slam home run. They're up 8-0, and Mattingly, who's coaching the Marlins, is basically he just sends a message out to the guy. You're the guy. You mop it up. Well, like the 13th guy of the inning comes up, and they finally pulled him. The same guy down in Miami now goes against him. First pitch of the game, McNeil hits a double. That was it. No more hits for the thing.
Yeah.
And
Same guys they racked the week before.
just lit him up.
They lit him up.
Absolutely lit him up. So now all of a sudden, he went. He actually, I think he faced a minimum through 6 innings.
Yeah. Was it Alcantara or something? Was that him?
Yeah, finished the 7th. They got the Nationals in town. Nationals are really kind of flat this year.
Yeah, they're no big deal anymore.
And beat up on them a couple times.
Yeah.
Alfonso and McNeil. Rosario was big.
Yeah.
I mean, the nice thing is you've got this. I'm not saying they're David Wright and Jose Reyes, but you've got some good young players there. So last night they go down against the Nationals. They claw back. Wheeler gives up really a costly home run kind of late in the game. Alonso comes up and just absolutely rips a shot.
He's got like 10 home runs.
I think it
7th
was
inning out or something.
18th home run, either 16th or 18th
right.
home run of the season so far. That ties it up. And then what really surprised me was in the 9th inning, Rosario hits a pretty sharp ground ball to short, beats it out.
Yep.
Walk off
infield single.
Infield single.
Yeah.
But the Nationals are playing them deep.
Yeah.
The guy's almost on the outfield grass. You got the winning run at third base.
Yeah.
You got to figure you're going to bring your infield in a
Couple
little
steps
bit.
anyway. Yeah,
Right.
With 2 outs. There.
But Rosario does have some speed.
Yeah, the guy charged it, but he didn't really charge it.
No, he didn't.
Aggressively. He charged a little bit, but he didn't really
like
go
a
after
step or two. But he didn't
I
really
don't
come
think he
after
realized
it.
how fast that Alfonso is.
Yeah.
He was busting down the line, just
Yeah.
like Cano does all the time. Oh
no, not
Robinson,
Cano.
No, don't you know?
Cano got himself in a little bit of trouble the last week, 10 days. Yeah.
The first one was he was hit a ball, back to the pitcher, was it? Or
Yeah, kind of a number back to.
one out. He thought there was 2 outs. The guy throws a second. Now, when you throw a second, that would have given him a clue that there wasn't 2 outs.
Or the guy throws a second, you immediately realize there was only one out,
run.
and I got no chance.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's just not knowing, not being aware.
Yep.
Whether
That was
it's
his excuse.
Yeah, it could be his excuse or
So he
just,
jogs to first.
I know I screwed up by not jogging,
Yeah.
so I'll plead ignorance instead of pleading lazy.
Right.
Yeah.
And it was funny because the shortstop threw the ball. He looked up. He's like, "The hell is it?" He goes, "Whoop." Just lobbed it over there.
Roll it
Yeah.
over there.
He's like, "The guy's not even running." So he throws over to get double play. And I guess 2 nights later, hit a number in front of the plate.
Yep.
With a runner on first. A runner on first, right? Yeah.
Yep.
1 out. Same thing.
Yep.
He
Say-
literally doesn't even move.
Yeah, it doesn't come out of the box.
He said he thought it was foul.
Yeah.
Okay. So he just looks at it. Catcher picks it up, guns it down to second. They throw it for same thing, do it first.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah. And, Callaway, who's under some duress, did sit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the thing is with the Mets, Cano's a legendary, I wouldn't quite say legendary. He's got a great history, right?
Yeah. Potentially.
They've got huge depth in the infield.
Yeah.
They're fastly getting to the point where they're not playing for anything.
Yeah.
So at what point do you just say, okay, we got a closer with the Cano deal. Now let's get out from under the
It's always
Cano
a tough
thing.
thing for a manager to sit there and just lambaste his guy and say, you didn't hustle. Sit your butt down. But I think if you did that, you'd have more respect from the other players.
I agree.
And your manager.
I agree.
I mean, because it goes the other way all the time. And the thing is that, how can Cano argue? How can he argue that?
No.
I mean,
And well, you and I were having a conversation. If he was wearing pinstripes in the Bronx, no way is that tolerated.
first of all, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. That's the first thing. And the second thing.
It might happen the first time. It definitely wouldn't happen the second time.
Yeah.
And whoever's managing the Yankees, it's just not going to happen. So I think from a fan standpoint, from an ownership standpoint, after that something like that happens, you need to see. You don't need to hear it, but you need to see a conversation going on in the dugout where Callaway's making it clear that this is not how we play baseball in Flushing, and then sit him down for a few games.
Absolutely.
Like I say, it's not like he's
not tearing
lighting
the
it on
cover off.
fire.
Yeah, he's not.
So
McNeil's better at second and base anyway than Cano.
So the Mets have already they're down to 5.5 games behind.
Yeah.
Now it's early, and
Long
if
way
the
to go,
bats wake up and things like that, Atlanta's come on now. Atlanta's won 7 out of the last 10. Philly's just kind
Who's on top?
of just cruising along there.
Yep.
But so Callaway, like I said, Callaway's been kind of on the hot seat.
Yeah, the rumor has it he was going to get fired.
Yeah.
Especially after the debacle in Florida with the Marlins when they got swept by them.
Yeah, there was a conversation. Now, the night where they lit up the pitcher for 8 runs in the inning, they Van Wagenen, Wilpon, and Callaway had a meeting before that game. Now, does that magically get you 8 runs in the first inning? No, but that did kind of start the conversation.
Yeah.
Score 8 runs in the first inning, you end up winning 11-2. That conversation kind of goes away for a little while. Then you go down and you lose to Miami, who's 14-31, and you get swept by them.
Worst team in
Now it
baseball.
comes back up. So the Iron Man of golf, or of baseball rather, Yoenis Cespedes.
Oh my God.
I was unable to break the story, Joe. I don't know how he
Shocking. I don't
got
think
hurt.
we'll never know.
Probably
Yeah,
not.
The truth. I would say
Right,
the truth.
right. So they
They're riding
came
one of
out
his
and said,
horses.
he got hurt. He hurt his ankle. Now he's been out for 2 years after double heel surgery.
Yep.
So in the same statement of, this is what happened to Cespedes, which I've given up on Cespedes, and I've said it here on the show. We're not going to see him as a Met.
No.
But in that same statement, here's a reassuring thing. Now, wouldn't you like your boss to make this public? For the time being, Callaway is our manager. It's not exactly a huge boost to confidence.
Endorsement, yeah.
But to me, it's like I say, it's May 22nd. You fire your manager now, you're giving up for the season.
But they're saying like, okay, who do you replace him with?
Yeah.
You got Riggleman on the bench, who's an older manager. He's the same, right? To me, the manager of baseball is really, I don't know if it's fair to say, not that big a factor. It could be when you have 4 or 5 games. You could lose your 4 or 5 games, but it's not going to totally tip the scales. If you're a lousy team, you get a great manager, it doesn't make a difference.
Correct.
I don't think.
Correct.
But
Now, in the Mets case, I think it's not a lousy team.
Yeah.
You still have a good rotation there. Font is basically taking over for Vargas. Syndergaard and DeGrom haven't been at the top of their game. They're not going out giving up 7 runs a game.
Right.
So you have a good 5-man rotation.
Yep.
You've got the players, and they've shown it in streaks. You've got the players that can score a lot of runs. They've scored, 210 runs, which is kind of low, except for compared to the Marlins in the division. But they have that there.
Yeah.
So can the manager make some game time, in-game decisions? Do you
batting
pinch hit the
order,
right
things
guy?
like that, rotations,
And
yeah.
I mean, last night was a perfect example of how the National League works. J.D. Davis hits a 3-run shot as a pinch hitter
Yep.
to get the Mets,
Yep.
for the Mets to claw back. And then he bungles a play out in left field. Well, he had to be in left field because now it starts.
Yeah.
Now is that on Callaway? Well, if him bungling the play is on Callaway, well then you got to give Callaway the credit for getting a guy to go in there and pinch hit and hit a 3-run home run.
I think a general manager or an organization only wants a manager to put their team in the best position to win every night.
Yeah.
And then they can decide, well, is he not doing that for us with lineup changes, rotation, pitch hitting decisions? I think that's what it comes down to. Basically.
Pulling Cano aside, not letting that kind of stuff happen.
Those things that set the tone.
And a lot of that goes to the culture of the team. Like I said, I mean, I've been a Mets fan my entire life, but you always have to kind of admire the Yankees because they just don't let that stuff happen.
Yeah.
Now, going back to what we were talking about the other day, Sandy Lyle's book, The Bronx Zoo, that was a different era.
Yeah,
That was
well, we talked about too one time when Billy Martin called out Reggie Jackson.
Yeah.
In a game where I think Jackson kind of jogged after a fly ball or something. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
He took him right out, right in the middle of the inning.
Yeah.
And the guy came out. And Jackson's like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "I'm coming in for you." He says, "It's the middle of the inning." He goes, "I know. Billy told me to come in for you." He's like, "Oh yeah." He comes storming into the dugout, and they went at it. They almost came to blows.
Yeah.
And the funny part about it is Reggie Jackson goes, "You embarrassed me by taking me out of the game. But you didn't embarrass us by not hustling after it."
Now, I will say, had you ever seen that before or since?
You never will. Probably.
So there was a message there.
Yeah.
And I think the two of them did butt heads quite a bit.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. But in this day and age, with the contracts, the agents, and the union and all that, you're not going to see it. No one's ever going to do that to anybody.
Yeah.
Even though it'd be nice to see. I'd like to see that.
Yeah, I'd be okay with
That'd
it.
be kind of neat. But internationally, you got the Phillies are ahead by a couple games over the Braves, and the Mets are in third place. They're about 4 or 5 games out, like you said.
5.5, yeah.
5.5. So and there's obviously such a long way to go, but they need the Grom to get his game going. He hasn't been pitching very well lately.
He's gone
up and down.
they had he had the great start, then he had a couple bad starts, then they sat him a start. Now, they had an opportunity to get him an extra sit.
Yeah.
He missed the start. They put him on. They went like retro on a 10-day disabled list or whatever else, back to his prior start. It was they had an off day Thursday.
Yep.
And
a rain out or something.
And then they could have, Syndergaard could. So they had an off day Thursday. They could have had Syndergaard pitch on, skip the number 1.
Right.
Syndergaard pitch Friday on normal rest,
Right.
and give DeGrom that extra blow. Right. Now I'm assuming Syndergaard was in that conversation and said, "No, I'm good to go." He's coming back. He got DeGrom the other night. He pitched a great game, gave up 2 runs, and they got the loss. But
I'm always from the old school where you take DeGrom and Syndergaard said, "All right, what do you guys want to do?
Yeah.
What do you think is best for us?" And that way you can't lose that situation. If Syndergaard says, "I want my good day," and DeGrom says, "No, I want that day." All right, now you have to make a decision. DeGrom says, "I'm fine with that. I'll pitch Saturday, and Noah can pitch on Friday, a normal day."
Yeah.
At least you're all good, and you're not going to get in trouble. And if the reporters actually say, "Well, that's what we decided as a unit. We thought that was best for the team," and no one can criticize you for that. They just can't. But that's I think being a good manager is the communication part of it. Being able to sit down with players and tell them, "This is what I expect. This is what I want you to do." Yeah. Now with Cano, if you expect guys to hustle out every play and they don't, then you've got to do something.
Right.
If you don't, that's the issue I think that we're talking about.
Yeah.
Here.
And that's do you have the culture of we're all going to be professional every inning, every game, every night, whatever it happens to be, or are we going to let this kind of stuff slide?
So if McNeil doesn't hustle, is that okay? Because Cano didn't do it. I mean, that's
the message that you're sending. Yeah.
Right. As opposed to McNeil's going, I better run down there because he benched Cano and he's got more value than I do. So,
yeah.
So I think that's then you look at the manager's making what, $5 million a year, $4 million, and you've got
17 million.
You're making $25 million.
Yeah.
So this guy's making 5 times more than you're making, and you're telling him to hustle. So I mean, you can also go see that angle of it too.
Yeah.
But I think as a manager, you have to have a conviction. You've just got to say, "Listen, man, this is how I want it done. If you don't do it, and I'll get somebody else.
Yeah.
And if you get fired on that, at least you go down your own way.
And he's got to have the backing of
Right.
the upper, you know.
I mean, as soon as
top
Cano
office.
doesn't run, if I'm Callaway, I take him back in, whatever name, Brody. I take him and say, what do you want to do here?
Van Wagenen, yeah.
What do you want to do
Yeah.
here? You want me to bench him? And whatever they do, they back each other up.
Right.
And you, again, you can't go wrong there. If Brody says, bench his butt next game,
Yeah.
bench his butt, and then you say, Brody and I decided this is what we're going to do. Or if you don't do anything, well, then
Like say, you're sending the message, this
Yeah.
is acceptable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't care. I mean, just whatever. And then you would think that Cano would say, you know what? I was totally wrong. I should have hustled. It won't happen again. That's what you want to hear.
Yeah.
But you don't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but you don't.
Yeah, I didn't know how many outs there were.
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of important?
But also,
don't they teach you that in Little League?
But you know what? You know what? To the defense of that, I did hear somebody else wrote that the scoreboard had the wrong outs on the scoreboard. It did say 2 outs. That's what somebody else said. Whether that's true or not, I can't prove it. But they said that he looked up and he saw 2 outs on the scoreboard. But obviously, you know the situation.
Right.
But that
If,
was one.
if you're in the dugout, what are you doing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that was the other thing. Anyway, all right, enough of the Mets. Keenan Broxton got traded.
We just spent 7 minutes on a mediocre baseball team.
Yeah, exactly. Keenan Broxton got traded to the Orioles, which is good. Let him play a little bit. He's not going to play. He wasn't going to play with the Mets that much.
Yeah.
And it's tough too because he batted like 172, and I think he had 40 at bats. I mean, it's not a good enough sample size. So both sides are. He wants more at bats, but he hasn't done enough to merit more at bats. So it's.
Yeah, so ship him to Baltimore. Well, 172
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
you might be the representative in the All-Star game.
He'd be better than Chris Davis is. Chris Davis up to 185.
25.
The other day.
From zero.
From zero, and he's got 5
What was
home runs.
it, 0
18
for
RBIs.
30
He
something?
was 40, over 2 seasons, it was 0 for 49 or 50, I think. Yeah. But yeah, he's actually got 5 home runs. So
That's tough to come back from.
Yeah. So
Yankees are, go ahead.
here's a good one. I'm watching a game the other night. They're playing Baltimore. It's just 2 nights ago, I think it was. And the score was 7. It was 7-6 Baltimore going to the top of the 8th. And the Yankees had second and third with 1 out.
Second and third, 1 out.
1 out. And Gardner was up. And with Luke Voigt on deck. Now,
Okay.
7-6, you're up by a run in the 8th inning. You would think the play would be, I would have walked Gardner to let Voigt hit with the base loaded.
Yep.
Hopefully double play. You're out of the inning, right? And you
Yeah.
and delete. So they don't do that. They pitch to Gardner. Gardner hits a lazy fly ball left field. The left fielder, his name is Smith, Dwight Smith, I think it was, takes his ball to try to get the guy at home, which he had absolutely no shot at. The guy's tagging up at third. Throws the ball probably 50 feet over the catcher's head. Just airmails the ball. I was like, are you kidding me? God forbid you hit the cutoff man. And of course, the guy from second goes to third.
Sure.
Okay. So Voigt ends up walking.
Okay.
So
Was it intentional or a pitch?
no, I think
Kind of a pitch around
yeah.
now?
So now it's 7-7, first and third with 2 outs. Anyway, it was 2 outs. It was first and third, and prior to that, Voigt had a pop up behind home plate.
Yep.
The catcher looks up in the air. This is Severino's the catcher. Looks up in the air. He's looking for the ball. Takes the mask off confidently. Tosses it aside. Like, I get this. It goes like this, and the ball literally goes 50 feet behind him. It was just like, and then the next pitch, Sanchez hit a 3-run bomb. Mm-hmm. And they win 10-7. It was
And that's against Toronto.
against Baltimore.
Well, okay. Well.
That was just like,
But now, a minute ago, we were talking about the value of a manager. That right there is what we're talking about. Why are you, now, they made mistakes, but you kind of let that happen.
guess they took their chance with a lefty on lefty
Yeah.
with Gardner up there.
Yeah.
But the catcher, I mean, and the pitcher and the first base and third base all sitting there like, I could have caught it if you lost it or
Yeah.
it wasn't going to make it. And they all looked at each other like, oh my God. And so, of course, the next pitch, the guy hits a 3-run shot. And,
Yep.
you know, and when you're a bad team, that's what happens. Baltimore.
Yeah,
probably the
and
worst team in baseball.
they are bad.
They're the worst team in baseball. So that was,
They have more wins than the Miami or the Florida
I think
Marlins.
it's 15-14, I think.
Yeah, the Marlins only won 14.
Yeah, 15-14, I think.
And if it weren't for the Mets, the Marlins.
It's true. It's true. Now, the other teams in the league, now the Yankees are on top of their division, amazingly.
Yeah.
29-17. They just doing it like incredibly
Yep. They've won.
incredible.
Yeah, 30-17. They've won 8 out of the last 10.
Yeah.
Now they got to play Baltimore,
Playing some bad teams.
which
too,
is
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
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 Boston, not
Coming out.
surprisingly,
Coming out a little bit.
starting to come out a little bit.
They got beat twice by Houston over the weekend, and Sale won their. Sale started to pitch like Chris Sale should
Yeah.
pitch. He had a 17 strikeout game 2 games ago, but he pitched well against the Astros, and they beat the Astros 4-3 on Sunday.
Yeah.
To stop the Astros 10-game winning streak, and they're playing very well. Astros actually have had 2 10-game winning streaks this season.
That's impressive. Yeah.
They're a tough team.
Yep.
And that's what Altuve's been hurt last 2 weeks.
Yep.
So they're
Yeah, they got an 8.5 game lead.
they have the pitching. They got
It's not even the end of May.
Verlander's pitching like lights out, and they got
Yeah.
Cole. They're just they're, and they still got Dallas Keuchel and Kimbrel
Yeah.
hanging out.
Hanging
They're
out.
just doing whatever they're doing. I don't know what's going to happen to those 2 guys, but it's amazing. You imagine how you're a pretty good player, and then nobody wants you.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's a salary thing or need or what, but no one's knocking on their door.
Yeah.
At least right now. I mean, we'll see. Obviously,
Yeah.
a long way to go. But Kimbrel was just. I mean, he should just stay with the Red Sox.
Yeah.
To take your $4 million and just.
Yeah.
The great team, great organization, and
Was the Red Sox real amped to keep him though?
I think he wanted like a 3 or 4 year deal,
Okay.
and they didn't want to give him that much.
Not based on his performance. Yeah.
Yeah, because he's going to lose it sooner or later.
Yeah.
But and they figured that Matt Barnes could do it, and he's been doing it.
Yeah.
Closing. So, everyone's indispensable. No one's so wonderful that
Yeah.
you're going to collapse without it. Like, so you get hurt in right field, they're not going to leave the opening in right field. They're going to put someone else in there, and and all of a sudden you might not get your job back.
It's not like soccer. You don't play 8.
Exactly. Like Urshela for the Yankees, guy's batting .350.
Yeah.
And Andujar decided to have his operation, so he's out for the rest of the year.
Yep.
I mean, there was a point where he was rehabbing, and I think if Urshela wasn't so successful, they might have tried to salvage him for the season. But they say, you know what, just shut it down, and come back next year.
Yeah.
And DJ LeMahieu is playing well. Didi DH in the Iron League game yesterday, so he's back a little bit.
Yep.
Stanton is got hit in the leg in one game, and he's hopped a little bit in his knee, but he's been taking some swings. But Betances is still a ways away, and Judge is still out. Judge, I'm not counting on him at all.
I mean, they're not saying anything on Judge, which tells me that, like you say, he might be done.
No
for the year.
baseball activities at all. And
Yeah.
they have no timetable. They have no. He hasn't been doing anything. He's already been out a month already, right? A month, 5 weeks already.
Yeah.
And you got to figure too. This is almost June, and Stanton hasn't played a game yet.
Yeah.
It's amazing, and obviously Didi knew about though, but and Betances too hasn't thrown. But Domenico Germán for the Yankees is 8-1. I mean, he's leading the league in wins. I mean, he's been pitching unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I think 3 of his wins are against Baltimore though, but still. Yeah, but still, I mean, you got to win the games. Twins are playing well in the Central Division. They got some power to lead the league in home runs.
Yep.
They're good young guys. They're playing well. Cleveland's second place. And out west, you got Houston running away with 10-game lead on Texas.
Yeah.
So, and then in the National League, you got the Cubs playing well in the Central, Milwaukee behind them, and you got the Dodgers out west, Arizona second place. So you got kind of like the teams that you kind of knew were going to be in the mix.
Yeah.
Or kind of know what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, I mean, there's some predictability. We all knew the Marlins going to be bad.
Yeah.
Orioles going to be bad.
Yeah.
Red Sox, Yankees are always going to be, knocking heads down the stretch. So.
But you see in baseball with the guys in the minor leagues that have done well in the leagues, as soon as they get their chance in the pros, usually do okay.
Yeah.
They survive the initial week or two of getting used to all the pitching, and then
Sure, the nerves and
then
everything
they
else.
play, and then they get involved.
They also have, I mean, a guy like Alonso, now it's 7 weeks into the season, so they don't have it. In some ways, they have a kind of a a honeymoon
Yep.
there too.
Right.
They have all the scouting reports on the pitchers.
Right.
The other teams don't necessarily have the scouting
Right.
reports
Right.
on
Right.
you know, I mean, obviously they have scouts
Right.
in the minor leagues,
Right.
but it's not, they don't necessarily
The thing
know
about
how
a
to
lot,
pitch
you
these
gotta remember,
guys.
he's 26 years old. He's no kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, it's not like he's like 21.
Yeah.
20. So
Yeah.
I mean, that's a big difference.
Yeah, he didn't race through the
you
minor
know, so
leagues
he
after
put
a
his
couple
time
years
in
of
and
college.
He
Yeah.
deserves his shot.
Yeah.
And you can tell he's
Now,
got power.
The only thing you got to watch out for is the out in Las Vegas, which is where the Mets used to have their AAA guy. Their AAA
there?
team was out in Vegas. The Area 51 was their thing. Apparently, the entire Major League Baseball has decided we don't send any quality pitchers to this league.
Yeah.
Because I would see guys, oh, you know, he's tearing it up in AAA.
Yeah.
He'd come up to the Mets. He couldn't hit his way out of a paper bag.
The thin air over there.
They'd send him, it could be high
Yeah,
desert or whatever.
yeah.
They'd send him back out to Vegas. He's tearing it up in Vegas. He's hitting 310. He's
94
ripping the
home runs
ball
by
over.
All-Star break.
He comes back to the Mets, and so finally the Mets just said, okay, we're not
Yeah.
doing that anymore.
We can't do
But
that.
see, I think part of that. Now, again, you raise a good point. If it's at altitude and it's high desert.
Yeah.
I'm not going to send my star prospect pitcher there.
Or it's not a pitcher's
who's
league.
just going to get
Yeah.
Yeah. beat up every day.
Yeah.
So we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So.
Now I was just reading an article on the Jets with their.
I was.
Want to
How
talk
much
a
time we
little
got?
Jets?
How much time we got
A
left?
few minutes, right?
I was
8
hoping
minutes?
we could get by without talking about the Jets.
I thought you want to talk about your Jets. I'll talk about
There's
my
not a lot of
Giants.
good things to talk about.
Well, you know.
Have you put in your resume, by the way?
Well, let's go over the roster real quick. Who's the backup quarterback for the Jets? You
I don't know.
that?
No.
Oh my God! What kind of fan are you? Trevor Simeon.
I work 60 hours a week. Trevor Simeon.
He's their backup.
Okay.
Not bad. Not bad. All right. Who's your running back?
Well, who's our general manager?
There is none.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know who that's going to be.
We got Le'Veon Bell apparently.
Maybe I'm Yep.
He hasn't come to any optional practices or
Why
anything.
bother?
You know.
Who's going to practice?
Practice?
Yeah. But they're going to be all right. Yeah, they got Quentin Williams at nose tackle, and they'll be all right. We'll see what happens. I think it's Le'Veon Bell is the key, though. I mean, if he comes in focused and in shape and.
No, and the first message that you get is,
Yeah.
maybe I won't show up.
Voluntary is voluntary. I'm not volunteering to come in. That's what that
You
means.
can't make me.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah.
Boy.
And then the Giants.
You know, I mean, again, you know, just for a minute, Darnold is, you know, he's the quarterback for the future.
Yeah.
If Bell can, for 2, 3, 4 seasons, give him a running game to take some you know, the one-sided offense off of them,
Right.
you know.
The play action
There you
will help them.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to say right here, my Giants are going to at least win. I think the over-under in Vegas for the Giants is maybe 7.5 games. I think to win. They're going to win. They're going to win 9 or 10 games.
Really?
Yeah. The reason why I say that is because they've really upgraded their offensive line. They got Rimmers from the Vikings, who I think it's Dave Rimmers from the Vikings. He was a 5-year, 6-year, 7-year starter for the Vikings, former All-Pro.
Yep.
They've got Nate Solder at left tackle. They've got Hernandez at left guard. They've got Halapo at center. And they've got, on the right side, they've got Rimmers and Zeitler from Cleveland. They've got some
Okay.
and they got Chad Wheeler to back up those guys. It's a nice offensive line. And they got Saquon back, and they've got Golden Tate, Sterling Shepard. They're going to be. I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
The defense can be decent. I think it's going to be fine. Plus, I think the East Division is not going to be that strong.
Yeah.
Did you see Ezekiel Elliott get arrested the other day? Got handcuffed. Did you see that?
No.
He was at a concert with his girlfriend, I guess, and they were arguing, and then somebody said something to him, and he kind of shoved some guy, and they handcuffed him, but no charges were made. It was
Okay.
on videotape. It was on video.
Everything's on video.
He looked like he had a muscle shirt on, his hair is sticking up, and he looks like. But anyway, so he's got to avoid his problems there. But again, I think the Cowboys are going to be average. I think the Redskins are rebuilding. Eagles are going to be good. Eagles will be good again. And then you got the Giants. So I think.
So you really see the Giants winning 8 games?
I think it'll be pretty good. Yeah. I
Okay.
do.
Okay.
Depends if they beat the Cowboys twice and they beat the Redskins twice, and that's 4 wins right there.
Yeah.
You know, they played the Patriots I think this year too. So, but I think they're going to be pretty good.
Okay.
I really do. You know, that offensive line was really the big issue, and I think they're better off without Odell. Added 2 Ys and everything else. And Cleveland's going to be so fun to watch with Odell, Jarvis Landry, and the whole Baker, the whole circus over there. That's going to be circus is in town. It's going to be great to watch. It's going to be great to watch. A lot of fun to watch that. And then you know, Pittsburgh and Cincinnati. I mean, it's going to be a good division. But Cardinals should be fun to watch too with Kyler Murray. See what he does.
Yeah.
Him and Kingsbury. See what happens with that combination.
Yeah.
But their offensive line is still in shambles though, so I don't know what they're going to do with that way. But,
Yeah, and again, it might be a case you just keep bringing it. You can keep bringing in more quarterbacks. If they're running for their life,
yeah,
9 times out of 10.
Yeah, exactly. No matter who you are.
Fran Tarkington maybe could have won some games for him, but I don't know.
No, because a little hockey, you got the Bruins and the Blues. And the
Yeah.
Devils.
Yep.
Yeah, you watch any hockey at all?
No.
I wouldn't watch it too much either. Yeah.
Now that being said, if I have time, you know, playoff hockey especially is a blast.
Amazing. It's amazing how fast it is.
Yeah.
How good those guys are.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about the NBA with a long season.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, the NHL again. They're just starting the last series now.
Yeah.
So that'll almost
Same thing.
compete against you know, against the NBA, and you could argue that maybe in the NHL they do deserve those extra days in between games. A little bit different game than
Yeah. And fans are
basketball.
fans. They're diehard. They show up all the time.
Oh sure. Yeah.
Fans they're crazy. But that game is amazing, especially when you see it in person, how fast it is and how physical those guys are.
Oh, crazy.
How fast the puck goes. And
Yep.
those are some kind of athletes, those guys. Tough, too. Oh, my God.
Yeah. So now they don't start until May 27th.
Yeah.
Is game 1. So again, both early series.
Yeah.
Now, and I mean, I guess I get it, but
Yeah.
sweep. Okay.
Yeah. They've got to pick
Let's go ahead and get going.
Yeah, with the venue and stuff. There's so many other things going on in these venues and everything.
Yeah.
So they've got to plan it out. But, yeah, you're right. Because you can't really, if you plan it on a certain day and it goes 7 games, your team's not done yet. You're like, okay. Now we got to move it back. So that would be tough.
Yeah.
They go the other way.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it's pretty interesting. What else?
So it's just I was reading in the New York Post. They had a rule. They call it the single header rule. So it used to be if a local team was playing on one network, another couldn't broadcast a game from a different market. So if the Giants are on TV in that market, they couldn't. The other network wouldn't have the Jets game.
Okay.
And they've gotten rid of that. So so it's a little more access for the fans. Might not be a good thing because now there's no excuse. The Jets game will be on, Giants game will be on.
Yeah.
But you know, so in a way it kind of hurts.
With the NFL Network now, you can see any game you want, really.
Yeah.
See with the diehards.
Yeah.
Before we go, we'll be back on 3 weeks. We have a little summer break here.
So, you're going on vacation?
I'm not going anywhere, but
No?
3 weeks we'll be back on. 3 weeks
Nutmeg
from today.
TV's not like
No.
gonna run a junket down to Cabo San
You
Lucas
think
for
the
us?
Warriors beat whoever comes out of the East?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind.
No. Yeah. The Warriors win,
Or
and I like the Bruins in the cup.
yeah.
Yep.
That's gonna be a tough series from what I hear.
Yeah.
I think the Bucks come back and beat Toronto. I'm just still not sold on Toronto for some reason. I think that the Bucks.
Is it a Canadian thing or what's going on?
Don't know. Did you see? And you see Drake was trolling Giannis, and then he went behind Nick Nurse and massaged his shoulders during a timeout. Did you see that? Hey, get out of here! Go!
You can't do that.
Yeah, who the heck do you think you are? Amazing. All right, George. So we got Warriors going to the NBA championship, and I agree with the Bruins.
And the Bruins winning the cup.
Yeah.
All right, Joe.
All right,
Thanks.
George.
Have
All
a
right,
good
we'll see you.
vacation.
All right.